Right, back to the top focus on headlines today. Clashes inside the Golden Temple in Amritsar between two Sikh radical groups. A ceremony had been organized inside the Gurudwara on the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star, where the army had entered the temple to flush out militants. This was seen as a desecration of the holy site because of the bloodbath that followed. 30 years on, it's still an extremely emotive issue. An Akhand part or continuous reading of the holy book had been organized by the temple committee. Members of a radical group wanted to make a speech during the ceremony, and the temple committee, fearing that it may be inflammatory, stopped them. This is what led to clashes. As you can see, the situation was quite tense in the morning, but our correspondent Simranjit Singh Mann now reporting that the situation has been brought under control.
उस पर हमें बहुत खेद है और जिन लोगों ने ये बात की है उन पे श्रोमणी गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी की ओर से एक्शन लिया जाएगा, क्योंकि वहाँ एक मर्यादा है जो सिख संस्थाओं ने बनाई हुई है। उस मर्यादा से बाहर कोई नहीं जा सकता और उसका पालना सब लोग करते हैं। और जिन लोगों ने ऐसी बात की है वहाँ कोई इस तरह के आर्म्स लेकर जाने की बहुत पहले से सख्त मनाही है और जो वहाँ हुआ तो उसका हमें बहुत खेद है। पहले तो आज 1984 का जो सिख कत्लेआम हुआ इस देश में, उसके लिए मैं उन हजारों लोगों को श्रद्धांजलि दे रहा हूँ श्रोमणी अकाली दल की ओर से, जिनको निहत्थे लोगों को मारा गया देश में। और हमें इस बात का भी खेद है, जिस संसद में हम खड़े हैं, जिस संसद के हम मेंबर हैं, इस संसद में कोई थोड़ा सा इंसिडेंट हो जाए देश में और कोई एक्सीडेंट हो जाए देश में, उस पे भी यहाँ दुख प्रकट किया जाता है, श्रद्धांजलि दी जाती है। मगर 1984 में हजारों लोग मारे गए और बेगुनाह लोग मारे गए और कोई एक शब्द भी संसद में उसके लिए नहीं बोला गया।
तो माजरा जी, जो विवाद है वो बताया जा रहा है कि ऑपरेशन ब्लू स्टार को की एनिवर्सरी को मनाने को लेकर विवाद हुआ है। एसएडी का क्या स्टैंड है? क्या ये एनिवर्सरी मनाया जाना चाहिए या इसको नहीं मनाया जाना चाहिए?
देखिए, श्रोमणी अकाली दल पहले से जो एनिवर्सरी है वो वहाँ मनाते हैं। हमारे जो रिलीजियस बॉडी है हमारी श्रोमणी गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी, श्री अकाल तख्त साहब की सरपरस्ती के नीचे होती है और श्री अकाल तख्त साहब जो हमारे सुप्रीम है उसको श्रोमणी अकाली दल भी मानता है, सब सिख संप्रदाय हैं जितनी भी वो मानती हैं। सो उसकी सरपरस्ती के नीचे हर वर्ष एनिवर्सरी मनाई जाती है। श्रोमणी अकाली दल में उसमें शामिल होता है।
एक सवाल है, सिख बॉडीज ने, काफी सारी सिख बॉडीज ने डिमांड करी है यूएन इंटरवेंशन होना चाहिए फॉर अ प्रोब, इंटरनेशनल प्रोब इनटू ऑपरेशन ब्लू स्टार एंड लीडिंग अप टू द अटैक ऑन द हरमंदिर।
देखिए, जिन लोगों ने यूएन इंटरवेंशन की मांग की है वो उनको वापस लेनी चाहिए। और यूएन, हम तो अपने सिख अफेयर्स में अपनी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की इंटरवेंशन नहीं मांगते, कभी मांगी तो यूएनओ कहाँ से आएगा यहाँ से? तो हमारी जो सुप्रीम बॉडी है श्री अकाल तख्त साहब, जिसको सब सिख लोग मानते हैं, और कोई किसी किस्म का किसी को कोई इतराज है, जहाँ किसी को शक है और जो भी इसका दोषी होगा उसकी निशानदेही किसी ने करनी है तो श्री अकाल तख्त साहब के सामने केस रखना होगा। यूएनओ या कोई और सरकार उसमें दखल नहीं दे सकती।
Right, let's get a word from our correspondent first, Simranjit Singh Mann, who's joining us from the ground, getting us these pictures from inside the Golden Temple. Manaman, you're telling us about the ceremony that was organized by the Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee in the morning, after which there were clashes reported between two different groups. Clearly, the ceremony in itself was extremely emotional. This is an emotive issue for the entire community, and tempers clearly running high.
Yes, indeed. Given the fact that today is the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star, the day when Operation Blue Star finally concluded and the deaths of Jarnail Singh Mann and others were finally come to known. Today is an emotional day for several hardliners, of course, in the community, and it is generally observed also as a day of remembrance by the Akal Takht inside Golden Temple. And today again this clash happened after the altercation which reportedly happened between the two groups after the ceremony was organized to mark the anniversary.
Why did this altercation take place? What led to this altercation, Manaman?
This altercation took place, Gaurav, after Simranjit Singh Mann, who is the president of Shiromani Akali Dal Amritsar, which is a hardliner group, which reportedly wanted to address the gathering. But his demand was turned down by the Akal Takht Jathedar, maybe because it was understood or it was anticipated that he would be making some provocative statements which the Akal Takht did not want him to make. And this made his supporters angry, who then clashed with the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee and with the task force members who enforced discipline within the Golden Temple precincts.
There has been an effort in the past several years. There are Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale t-shirts that are doing the rounds. There are some intelligence reports that seem to indicate that there is an effort to revive terrorism in Punjab. Is this a real threat, or is this more make-believe than real?
From what we gather from the intelligence sources on the ground, this is not a real threat of any resurrection in the following of Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale. Just by the fact that there are some t-shirts which are in the market. There are hardliner elements very clearly present in Punjab. Prominent among them are Shiromani Akali Dal Amritsar as well as the Dal Khalsa. But both of these parties don't seem to be propagating any culture of Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale. Of course, their aim and objectives pertaining to Khalistan are still very much present. If you speak to them, they do not deny. But picking up arms or ammunition or picking up violent means to achieve through a thrust is definitely not on the cards as of now, as far as they are concerned.
How is the police tackling this situation? This is clearly an attempt to murder. There are swords that are out. These pictures are horrifying. We urge viewer discretion. But how is the police reacting to this? Men out with swords attacking each other. Almost a medieval clash that's taking place inside the Golden Temple.
Gaurav, nothing would be worse for the police, at least, to intervene inside the Golden Temple on the 30th anniversary of our Blue Star, which is why perhaps wisely they are in heavy deployment outside the Golden Temple. They are trying to prevent such conflagrations from taking place, but they are keeping a distance away. Right now, if there was any active police intervention inside the Golden Temple, this would be adding to the fire which was already burning, and they want to play it down. This was just a clash between two rival groups inside the Golden Temple, and to give it any other spin would be wrong.
Absolutely. Thankfully, the Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee was able to bring the situation under control. No serious casualties there, but some people did receive a few minor injuries. Manuman, stay with us. We're getting a reaction from the head priest of the Golden Temple, Gyani Gurbachan Singh. Let's listen in.
Ka Khalsa Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. ਅੱਜ ਆਲ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਵਸਦੇ ਨੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਤ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਮੁਖੀ ਦਮਦਮੀ ਟਕਸਾਲ ਪਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ 20ਵੀਂ ਸਦੀ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਮਰਦੇ ਮੁਜਾਹਦ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਭਾਈ ਅਮਰੀਕ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਆਲ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਫੈਡਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਠਾਰਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਔਰ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਸ਼ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸਰਮਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਭੁਲਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖ਼ਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿਖੇ ਵੀ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak.
The big story we're tracking this hour: clashes inside the Golden Temple in Amritsar between two Sikh radical groups. A ceremony had been organised inside the Gurudwara on the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star. On your screens are pictures of two groups clashing, brandishing swords. We now believe that anti-riot police has been rushed inside the temple, even though the situation has been brought under control. Tempers clearly running high. This is the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star. Gaurav, we're being told that the anti-riot police has been rushed inside the temple. The police will also have to be extremely careful to make sure that they don't disrespect the temple in any way, because this is one of the holiest shrines for Sikhs across the world.
Well, this is the seat of power. This is the seat of power. The police are outside the Golden Temple. They are keeping an eye on what's happening. Whatever is happening inside the temple is being controlled by the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee itself. They have a task force, and what we are now being told from ground zero in Amritsar is that the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee task force has evicted each and every member of this radical Simranjit Singh Mann group. All of them have been evicted from inside the temple, but the police are outside. But for the latest, let's quickly go to headlines today's Manavan's in China. Manavan, as you were rightly pointing out, on the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star, it would have been suicidal for uniformed forces to be inside the temple. So what is happening? How has the situation been brought under control?
These people who were fighting with each other, Gaurav, they are no longer inside the temple now, and they are all been taken out. Most of them who were injured have been rushed to hospital. From what we know, around 12 people had sustained injuries as a result of these force being used while attacking each other. The anti-riot police and the regular police in Amritsar, they are outside in full force to prevent any further escalation of tempers or clash taking place. So as of now, what we are told by police sources in Amritsar is that the situation is quite calm and peaceful.
Well, the situation is calm and careful and peaceful. In fact, we also saw a short while back people holding boards. Manaman, little banners were being held. 1984 is the only thing we could make out of it. Are people inside also holding a peaceful demonstration? Because we played out those pictures earlier.
Well, this was not much of a demonstration, but attendance at the Bhog of the Akhand Path, which was held to commemorate those who had died in those in that attack which took place in Blue Star. Ostensibly, it is said that it is for those innocent victims who died, but there is a wider reference to this to those militants also who were holed up inside. So basically, on every anniversary, people from Shiromani Akali Dal Amritsar, they gather and hold such placards. But today, of course, being a momentous occasion for them, in the sense that it was the 30th anniversary of Blue Star, so they wanted to make it big. They wanted their president Simranjit Singh Mann to make a speech on this occasion, but it was anticipated by the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee and the Akal Takht authorities that Simranjit Singh Mann would make inflammatory speeches. He has in the past made them. He has been behind bars for making such statements. He has been arrested for sedition. So they wanted to avoid this kind of a situation, and this led to a clash between these two groups.
There is still a demand for a probe, not as much into Blue Star, but into what happened in Delhi and across the country, where innocent Sikhs were massacred after Indira Gandhi's assassination. That demand remains.
Yes, of course, that demand definitely remains, and that is something which had really helped the Aam Aadmi Party in its performance in Punjab in the recent Lok Sabha elections, Gaurav, because they had promised to constitute an SIT looking into these riots which took place after the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And that has really made a mark with the people here, the masses in Punjab. And that is a demand which has been in vogue for the past 29 years, ever since this incident took place.
Absolutely, and Manaman, considering how important this day is for Sikhs across the country, the fact that this is the day on which a holy shrine was desecrated by members of the Indian Army in an operation that was spearheaded by the Indian government to flush out militants, I believe that lots of people or lots of Sikhs from across the country would have gathered there at the Gurudwara today.
Well, not really, Simi. If you speak to people on the ground, the life is normal. People are going about their business in a routine manner. There is no, a gathering of people or people gathering in groups and discussing what has happened, or independent people just going to Golden Temple just because it is the 30th anniversary of Blue Star. It is just an occasion for these hard-line elements to take the maximum mileage out of it. For the common man, it is a memory of something which has happened, but then life is going on as normal. Things are routine. A call for Bandh had been given by Dal Khalsa, another hardliner element, but it has fallen flat. People have not responded in any manner to this call.
And the Indian Army, Manaman, was there to liberate the people who were trapped inside and kill terrorists like Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale, who were holed up along with elements of Pakistan's ISI. And that was an operation. At that time, it was felt it was inevitable. In hindsight, perhaps avoidable.
Well, in hindsight, the vision is always 2020, Gaurav Sawant, and eminent people like Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha, former Vice Chief of Army Staff, who was superseded to make General A.S. Vaidya the Chief of Army Staff, who later was the Chief when this operation was carried out. He has written in a book that this operation was entirely avoidable, and what he had recommended while he was the GOC in Sea Western Command was that the Gurdwara should be surrounded and the water supply and electricity should be cut off and the forces should not be sent in. This is something which was replicated later when Operation Black Thunder 2 was carried out under the leadership of KPS Gill, when CRPF and the Punjab Police played a major role along with the NSG. So it is in retrospect that you can say that perhaps it was avoidable.
All right, and Manaman Singh Chinna, a word also goes out for the Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, who actually anticipated that a hardline group might make an inflammatory speech, were able to prevent them from making that speech to ensure that the situation doesn't go out of control. Also, when swords were finally drawn between the two groups, they were able to finally restore peace and ensure that there were no casualties.
Well, yes, because it was a localized clash, a localized flaring of temper. This was nothing which was planned, which is why it has been contained so thoroughly and so quickly. Had it been something organized, had it been something that Shiromani Akali Dal was planning to do, I'm sure the Amritsar police and the Punjab intelligence officials would have known in advance, and these people would not have been allowed to gather or let alone enter the Golden Temple. The very fact that they were inside means that they were small in numbers. They just wanted to attend this function. It is quite well known where the ideologies of Shiromani Akali Dal Amritsar lie. As I said before, their president has been in jail for sedition in earlier times also. But the Akal Takht authorities did not want such speeches to be made. They did not want this occasion to be hijacked. And the Jathedar of Akal Takht, in the days preceding to this anniversary, had gone on record to say that this event should not be given a political tone.
All right. In fact, Manaman, we've also been hearing that there are groups who are now demanding a UN intervention into the violence that took place against Sikhs in 1984.
That demand had come forth from none other than Simranjit Singh Mann, who is the president of Shiromani Akali Dal Amritsar. On more than one occasion, he has asked for UN intervention. This is, of course, an absurd demand which has been dismissed by everyone, including the Akali Dal, and as Prem Singh Chandoo Majra, the Anandpur Sahib MP, who made a statement a short while back, said that it is entirely not required, and this is just a belligerent statement which has been made by him, and he is in the habit of doing so.
All right, and Manaman, you're telling us that the riot police is present in full force outside the Golden Temple. The situation inside has been brought under control. So if there are pilgrims who are now coming to the Golden Temple, will they be allowed inside?
Yes, there is no bar on pilgrims entering the Golden Temple or paying obeisance inside the Golden Temple. In fact, there are a large number of tourists these days who are visitors to Golden Temple. There is a tourist circuit which has been put into place in the sense that they go to Golden Temple, pay their respects and go to the nearby Jallianwala Bagh, and then culminate this by going to the Atari Wagah border to watch the retreat. So a large number of tourists other than the pilgrims, the Sikh pilgrims, are in attendance there. There is no stopping them. The traffic of the pilgrims is continuing as before.
Right, and Manaman, of course, we're getting pictures of swords being drawn inside one of the holiest shrine for Sikhs, an extremely regrettable incident that is being reported on the 30th anniversary of Operation Blue Star. Manaman, thanks so much for taking us through developments on the ground. Manaman now reporting that the situation has been brought under control.